Right, hello and welcome to episode 11. We're getting ahead of our 1 month upload schedule here. But what better time for a video than immediately after CitizenCon? So I'm here with Master Ben. We're back to
Hi,
remote.
everyone.
We're back to remote working. Yeah, we actually got together at the weekend and hung out in person, which was only slightly weird. So it was like, hey, wait a minute, you're not just a disembodied head who I talk to
Yeah,
online. Like, yeah. So it's you're an actual person with like arms and legs and stuff. So no, that was really cool. And got to watch it on a cinema screen, which was very nice. And I didn't have to travel home the next day, whereas everybody else did. You host a party,
unbelievable.
you're allowed to host it in your hometown. So
Unbelievable.
it did mean I was around to do jobs on Saturday morning. So that was a slight oversight, maybe.
That's the
Um,
joy when you get pulled away entirely. But yeah,
yeah,
no, it was a great pleasure. And turns out you're not wheeled around on a cart just from the waist up. So this is a
exactly.
real shock to the system, and it's gonna be a lot of comments on that alone, I suspect, from this
Yeah,
episode.
can confirm real people. Real people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, only you and I said we're real people. Does that mean is this just like a paradox of we're just convinced we're real people?
To be fair, the AI might have moved along to that point, right? Where it's convinced itself. Anyway, we are getting tangented immediately within the first minute. So this episode we did our CitizenCon prediction show a couple of weeks ago. But now we're the other side. And so we're gonna do our CitizenCon prediction show and get it all right. That's the plan.
Yeah, yeah. Should we backdate this one?
Yeah, we'll
This is
just backdate
the
it. We'll
September
replace the
episode.
original upload, and we'll just be like,
Yeah.
"Wow, how spot on were we?" And nobody will be able to prove us wrong. So,
No,
but no,
episode 9. Here we go.
but we're gonna take a look at sort of CitCon. Think about maybe what we said, how right or how wrong we were, and yeah, just have a chat about all the stuff that came up. I do have to say, right at the start though, I got something to show off. Got special because
Unbelievable.
I couldn't build shelves in time to show this off. This is probably now one of the coolest things I own. Oh, I need to find the
Oh,
right.
oh,
There we
there we
go.
go.
That is
Would
an
you look at that?
actual, fully functional Wow Blast pistol with my little Frontier logo. So yeah, thank you very much to Jones McZack, amazing engineer who made this, and yeah, it does scare Krug a little bit though.
Oh, no.
The not that I would shoot my dog, but the just the
Good caveat.
it's got all of the inbuilt blaster sounds, and every time they come on, he gives me like an instant like scared look.
Hold up.
so
What are you doing?
so we can't use that much around Krug. So wait for him to
Well,
get out of the house.
what you may not know, Loud, and I actually kept this a bit of a secret until the start of stream, is I actually did get one as well. And
Oh,
and here it is.
there we go.
Uh,
You got the
yeah,
invisible
just
version.
wow. If we just superimpose something there, like we got two. That's mad.
If
Yeah.
there's anybody at CRG who watches our show, then do get in touch with Jones because these are incredible. A lot of work went into this. It's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Really, really, really cool.
So yeah, that was my sitcon highlight. There we go. I think the other one was watching our friend Dino's face when myself and Astro were expressing how much we'd enjoyed K-pop Demon Hunters. So,
I didn't see that. Oh, that's a great shame. That'd
yeah.
be entertaining to watch.
So
Yeah, it was an interesting show, wasn't it? It was I think there were a good few highlights to take away. I think there was you very much had to temper your expectations going in, knowing it's a straight to digital show, knowing it was only going to be 2 hours, well, 2 hours 20 in the end. As ever, CIG can't even give you an estimate of their own shows, but hey, give or take
they
10%.
said ish, didn't they? They said
Yeah,
ish.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
yeah.
can't argue that. Um, what I'll say straight off the bat was I thought the live sections where we actually cut to the CIG studios and Jared Huckabee did a bit of crowd work was a very needed but a very welcome addition to the show. Because in my mind, when it said pre-recorded, I think whole thing's going to pre-recorded. That can be tricky sometimes to get life, get energy to a show. So yeah, whoever thought of that, probably Jared, very very good idea and a very
Yeah.
nice way to bring it back down to earth every now and again.
You also
Yes.
had to have a certain level of awkward with CIG
Yes.
presentations, which, you know, they're getting pretty good at video editing now, and like they've got all the studios set up, and you could tell it was professionally done.
Yeah.
But like CIG are awkward.
Body language, people. Body
Like
language.
it's meant to be awkward, and there's meant to be those cringe moments in it. So I for one am happy about the Stargarita segment, even if I haven't ventured onto Reddit or Spectrum to see what the wider response to that particular part was.
I'll see you on Reddit when you're talking about my drinks. Like, yeah, it's a very, because I think, yeah, as we spoke about at the time, CIG very much did open themselves up to possible flack in the future of where's my money gone, and then we see this sort of jokes about like, yeah, the things they're having. But at the end of the day, it's a company. For them, that would have basically been a company party, and just because it's player given money doesn't mean you can't make sure your employees actually have a nice time and make it an attractive place to work, because otherwise you'll just go somewhere else which offers better benefits or nicer places to work. So yeah, it's very easy to criticize that, but I think actually it's a nice thing to be done.
I think as well, like it's something which I was like thinking and chatting about with Rav and Flint the other night was basically like CitizenCon is a advert. It's an event for fans of the game. Like hands down, that is its main purpose. Is to promote the game to us and explain what their plans are and keep us interested. But it's also like got other functionality, right? And one of them is, there are going to be some young game devs out there who are thinking about where to work, who are looking at different, like they might be watching something like this with a view of like, well, what is this company working on? What would working there be like? What would I be doing? And so actually showing off that you have an incredibly cool office where people are willing to hang around after work and have drinks and
that's not easy.
Like, that's also, you're also advertising to those people. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it, even if I'm sure that the salt flows if we were to bring up Reddit. But,
yeah, and it's very much you've cocked the shotgun and put the round in, just waiting for a couple of months till something doesn't go your way, and then you start typing your very unique and witty remark, which no one ever has thought of. So yes, well done. It was a good comment you made.
Let's look at something that you got right but also wrong, Ben. The big one, Nyx. So you predicted Nyx, which and to be clear as well, because we record these and then I faff and forget to upload it. So actually they're recorded quite a bit before they actually go up. So you predicted Nyx before all the leaks said Nyx was definitely going to be announced at CitCon. So well done. That was a
I'll
good
take
call.
that win. And it's a funny prediction, because very beginning ago I said, right, I think there'll be Nyx in about 6 months' time. So that's where correct but not correct at the same time. But the more I reflect on it and we look at the way we're getting Nyx, I somewhat wonder if that prediction is still vaguely on target, because so in a month's time, in November, depending on when this video goes out, tomorrow, who knows, we are getting a jump point which will take us to Nyx. And in that system, there will be Levski and I believe Nyx 1. I'm not too sure on Nyx 1. But we're not getting all of Nyx just yet,
They weren't incredibly clear, were they? Because they very much said it's going to be built around you, which is code for it's going to be pretty barren.
Yeah. And Nyx is already barren when it's done.
Yeah,
right.
Don't expect too much from Nyx when it first releases. So I think you're right, because I think it might be you said middle of next year. I think it might be middle of next year before we're going like, let's go to Nyx to do all of the content. Like,
yeah.
It's that stuff seems to be ticking online gradually, and a lot of the stuff they were sort of seemed reliant on features like instancing, so we would imagine to see those sort of throughout next year, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But
So
I get to go to the dive bar at Levski, I would imagine, on day one. So
yeah.
that's good news because I missed that place.
Yeah, and so personally, I started properly playing the game, bar a few free flies in 3.14. So for me, this will be my first time in Levski, experiencing those areas. And from the footage we got last year in CitCon, the footage we got this year of Levski, it looks incredible. Like it's such a cool idea to sort of mine out an asteroid, have a sort of a hole through the middle, and that's going to be so fun. I cannot wait to see the racing maps that get made there. I cannot wait to see the fleet videos people make there. And like the thing is, it will still, or a fleet in there would still look tiny. But I think you could get some nice ideas. You get a good group of Idrises going through there, a javelin one day. That's a really great filming location. So yeah, send over the cinematics. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah, because
On
the
the
whole like, just in case, since you didn't see it like in its original form, it used to be this almost like shattered planet.
mm,
So it was still a planet that you landed on, but it was like broken apart. So it was kind of like you flew in through an asteroid field to get there,
okay,
and then you landed in this. It had like a big borehole,
yeah,
but it was just like a crater in the planet itself that you landed into. It was really cool, but like this version of it is, I mean, seriously better.
it's
it's
a
it's
really good idea. Yeah.
so
And having the like trams that move around, sort of just to take sort of to show cargo moving from place to
mhm.
place, is a really great way to get away from sometimes the invisible manner of freight elevators, which in reality will still be the way things work. But it's great to sort of get more of a visual idea of things actually moving, there being a proper functioning life form actually on the place. So that'd
Yeah,
be great.
yeah. The but yeah, the pace of that, the other stuff coming online, a lot of the content is a lot more questionable. I do hope that they sort of copy paste a decent amount of content that they've got into the
Okay.
system.
So
Like
what like?
just standard missions. You know, you can have more asteroid bases. It is at the end of the day more play area that you. So I really hope that they just leverage some of the stuff they've already built. You know, slight reskinning of ASD facilities.
Yeah,
Just drop them in, like just so it's not like a. I have been to Nyx. I have seen Levski. Now I
done.
will take
Yeah,
the wormhole
yeah.
back because there's nothing here. So
Yeah, it's sort of a funny balance, isn't it? Because in my mind, I agree. There needs to be a reason to go there on day one. Otherwise, you'll just forget about it, and the trickling of content won't go from a good idea because it invites you to come back every few months. It actually just becomes a disincentive because I went there 2 months ago. I didn't have a good time, so I just won't even continue going there in the future until someone really tells me I need to go. Whereas at the same time, if I find the same content there, but I could find elsewhere, it's like has it already lost its uniqueness? And then does this then set a precedent for like Castra or Terra of like, well, we can just chuck these places here to get going? But I fully agree. Sort of, trading missions, mining, all of those things. Yeah, like day one, the ERTs. We get told about how the closer you get to the red in the sky, there'll be more missions. This is the perfect place just from day one to have tons of interdiction missions, tons of pirating missions. Yeah, stuff like that could be really interesting.
and the Vandal,
Now, the
the
Vandal,
Vandal, like that was something we got right. We
yeah,
can get another one in the correct column. So
2 for 2, baby.
we just remember all the things we got right and don't talk about the
Yeah,
things we got wrong. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But no, I think that's huge. I think like in terms of mixing up like PVE content, because like the PVE we sort of talked about in our last episode, sort of the PVE
yeah,
pew pew like ship combat aspects. Like they're good and they've been getting a lot better for sure. But it's like, I mean, there is just something about like we are humans and we are fighting the
yeah,
aliens that like
yeah.
it's one of the tropes of great space games, and it is so cool that it will be here. So yeah, I just hope that Nyx from the start has those sorts of like, go fight the Vandal missions.
Yeah. So possibly maybe a bit of a hot take in the moment when I was there. The Vandal coming into me, I think is a great thing, and I always expected it at some point. I was really surprised to see them before Squadron 42, for the simple reason that, to me, if I said, okay, I'm going to release Squadron 42 in 12 months, if they're still aiming for 2026, we're talking 12 to 14 months at most, really, aren't we?
That's all of 2026. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, you can't. You're going to release it on New Year's Eve. Technically, you've still done it, and no one can really argue with that.
They did that
but
with Pyro, though, didn't they? They were like 2020,
yeah.
2024. It's like in a PTU build, like
It's
experimental
there.
one.
Yeah. Oh god, that
people have been.
Yeah. But it was on a system in America, so like people have been there in 23. You can't complain. It was an open test bed, whatever.
We hit our deadline.
yeah. Call it a day, lads. Have a great Christmas. If you're about to release Squadron, which is the first time we're going to get to fight the Vandal, would it not make more sense to withhold that content and introduce it a month after Squadron 42 comes out, to encourage players who haven't played Star Citizen before to continue their journey, continue that fight into Star Citizen? It's, to me, that feels like the natural progression and the natural marketing opportunity to push those two together. Unless you think, and this is where I'm really clutching at straws, unless it seems like Squadron actually isn't going to be in a year, so we might as well give you the content now, because it doesn't really matter. What do you think?
This is just me. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I thought initially with the Idris.
Yeah.
I thought that it was like, they're not going to give us that because that is a Squadron thing. They want the first time people to walk onto it, and people walk onto an Idris or a capital ship of that size, to be in Squadron 42 under the like strict rails of a single player game. Like they use the term curate the experience an awful lot. So I'd imagine that's one we're going to hear many times over.
Oh, for sure.
And so I initially thought, no, when people first started talking about Idris is coming, I was like, no way, because they wouldn't give that asset away when they're gearing to Squadron. What I kind of think is that the audiences are so different in a way, and they might be the same people eventually, but right now playing Star Citizen, you've got a certain player base, group of people who like the game. Seeing the Vandal isn't going to make me not play Squadron. I think it's just I'm looking forward to playing Squadron, but it's just a completely different experience. I'm thinking more like, I think I completed Space Marine 2 in the space of 2 days. Ended up staying up till 3 because it just got too good, and I
did enjoy that DM.
Put it down. Yeah. So
I finished everything and must sleep.
yeah, I need to go to sleep now. I'm all brothered out. Yeah, but the single player experience, sort of saw it from last year's CitCon with the playthrough, particularly the playthrough that went well when it didn't crash on Rich Tyra. It's a completely different experience. It's going to be cinematic. It's going to be heavily scripted. I think for the MMO player, it's important to see depth. There will be some people sort of tracking Star Citizen and deciding whether or not they jump into it, who are MMO players. That's their thing, and they'll be looking at it as does this game have enough depth? Does it have enough variety to keep me interested, to keep me playing, to keep me invested? And I think just all the content that they can add to that experience is good. I don't think it's going to cannibalize Squadron 42 sales.
No, I don't think so.
And I don't think it's gonna. And I think it just makes the experience better for the game. I was I picked up and was playing Star Citizen earlier today, and I literally had the whole, what should I do? Not as a result of like, what should I do? There's nothing to do. But like, what should I do? There are a lot of choices.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a good MMO, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's like, you need that sort of thing. You need to be able to switch up your gameplay, go and do different things. And so hopefully the Vandal will just bring in like a bit of variety. It's not the same old ships. We're not taking down any ERT targets in their 890s.
And the Reclaimer, it's got a
Reclaimer.
PDC now. It's lethal.
Cool.
It's absolutely lethal. Yeah, yeah. But Reclaimer's getting a new elevator on the PTU. That is an exciting thing to hear. There we go. Can enjoy that. That's totally separate to this, but that was a great moment.
Don't get the tangent I could go on about the salvage changes. I'm just not gonna start.
Episode 12 has already been written, it would seem.
Yeah. Episode 12 is just loud crying and moaning.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't even be there for that one. That's fine. Just there you go.
No, you can just take a week off. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. So Vandal, yeah, I think, I like that take. I do like that take. I think in the moment for me, that was one of the biggest question marks in the stream, apart from the ship panel, which, I mean, do you want to talk about the ship panel? That was
meh.
Right.
Like that's the only word I can summarize it with. I'm sorry, John Crew.
What was the word?
Meh. It was just
meh. Yeah.
Look. I'll be honest. First ever CitizenCon. I've been doing this like 5 years. It's the first ever one where the ship panel has come up, and I haven't even been mildly tempted.
No, likewise.
Like, there have been times when I've been like, I haven't bought something because you get in the hype, and I will always tell people that they don't need to buy ships, but I quite often do, and like there have been times where I've been like, that looks really good, but like it is expensive, and I'd rather go on holiday, like, so I've like not bought something. But this year I was just like, just don't care for any of those options of ship. Like, I think the Paladin looks quite cool, but like not cool enough to, like, cool as in I look forward to when that is, buy in game.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to get in a turret of someone's Paladin, give it a little fly run. Looks great. The idea of, they sold this nice idea of bringing 4 people. In reality, it's a 2-person ship, because then the pilot gets the 2 side guns. So it is a 2-person ship. I think adding the cargo to it was a really nice idea, just for those few people who will buy it and daily drive it for a couple of weeks, and at some point they will need a crate. So yeah, great idea, great addition. The other 2 ships, which we obviously didn't know about coming, so we had the Vandal fighter and the ugliest, not Cutlass, not Valkyrie I have ever seen added to this game. So when I saw that abomination for the first time, I was sitting next to Astro, and I was genuinely like, this is a joke, right? This has to be like a joke, because the way they're like, oh, it's such a pretty ship. I was like, okay, they're being funny. No, it was real, and it's something I'm going to have to see in game. And that's like, I have no problem with people like liking different things, and that's fine. And I look forward to seeing it so I can blow it up. But
Finish blowing it up. It looks like it's already halfway there.
It's so bad. Like, and this is what's, to take a positive spin, this is what's so good about this game. And this actually, I think, was the best thing to come out of the ship panel. Was this wasn't another run of the mill, militaristic looking fighter. This was a real Marmite for the British people. You either love it or you hate it type of ship, which you either are compelled to get in game or don't even remotely care about. And that's where we actually get a game which is much more interesting to look at, because not everyone likes the same thing. But I hate it. I I hate it so much. It's so dumb. It's stupid. The only funny bit about it was like, oh, look at the toilet. It's a bucket. Hey.
I'm going to tangent very slightly on this, right? What is
Yeah,
the
because I would do that.
obsession with toilets in this
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
And I'm just like, why do you have buckets? Like, and
Yeah.
also, like, this gets me onto a personal pet peeve. Why do you have mountains of trash in every pyro space
Oh
station?
God, I know.
We're in space. The hard
Push
vacuum
it away.
is an airlock away from you. Like,
And
just
lighting, by the way,
just
lighting in hangars in pyro. You're telling me pirates can't afford lights?
so
Just
so so this is one of the things which I really like what they're doing with Levski. It's just like, because that's like, that to me is that whole, like, we're not the UEE, we're not like the shiny, brightly lit space stations. We're like people trying to make it work, but we are trying to make somewhere we live
yeah,
habitable. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, I'm just like, seriously, there was nobody amongst the pirates who was just like, guys, gotta talk about this trash problem.
Come on. Yeah. It's like there must be someone there who's a bit of an OCD freak. Like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
let's not live like
This is
this,
a
please.
universe where, like, we haven't got it yet, but technically the Misk Raptor exists. Maybe that'll
Yeah,
be the
yeah.
first Misk Raptor based missions. Go and clean up the trash in Pyro.
I would
That'll be
if they
so good.
physicalized it, it'd be great. It'd be
Yeah.
great because it's like it's funny when you see it every now and again, but when it's everywhere, and you know the art team, the level design team put a lot of work into this stuff, and sometimes you think you actually like if every now and again you see the pyro hangars when they're lighting bugged and they're all lit up, and it's like this is actually a really beautiful place. And you exactly said you see the corridors and they're a really nice place. Don't put all this crap everywhere. Just
Yeah.
make it look nice.
The thing I did wonder with the Shiv, and it applies to a lesser extent to the Vandal's Stinger, I want to say. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it
yeah.
right. These sort of feel like, so I don't understand at all the appeal of the Shiv to buy. Like,
Okay.
I don't want one. But I do kind of understand the need for assets in game like that,
Yeah.
because you've got all these different systems, different like levels of wealth, different levels of access to like stuff. So it makes sense that out on the frontier systems at the far edges of the galaxy, you would not have a bright, shiny, fresh off the factory line MSR.
Yeah.
Or like, so we've got access to all these ships that we go and buy in the shops, but like, it wouldn't make sense for like somebody who is, the narrative behind that. Like, you go and look at like
Yeah.
the sort of various outposts and things, and you look at like, it's got this vibe of like people have cobbled stuff together to make it work, because they are living like rough and ready on the frontiers without the means that other factions in the game have, which creates the right flavor to the game. So it kind of makes sense that you would include things like the Shiv as like assets from Squadron 42. It's like, this we've come across like some renegade faction who are, drifting through space. They cobble stuff together and they make it work. That's why they are not flying Anvil Valkyries or like, Drake. And not everybody's just in a Drake Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And the same with like the Stinger. This is an asset that we have had to work on and make perfect, and it wasn't a lot of effort to then go like, well, slightly refit it for a human being to get into and stick a pledge store page up.
And an expensive one.
Yeah. At which point, like, kind of why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little, I mean, it was meh. But there's always a bit of a weird timing with ships around CitCon, isn't there? Because you do have
Yeah.
IAE around the corner, which is also a new reveal of a ship time. So I would expect something a little bit heavier and with bigger guns to to make an entrance there, which might make us just all forget the 3 misses of CitCon. So.
But like, so on that, what I thought was, to me, probably the most memorable part of last year's sitcom, and it was definitely not Squadron, because the way the live film version of that's been erased from my mind, and the sadness that brought was the trailer of the Polaris. There was this lovely soundtrack, which is the soundtrack that plays when you go through the jump points, and it was very much, let's look at a few teasers of ships that are coming. I don't mind if you don't do that, i.e. But let's just let's do a little run through of the Polaris. And I thought it's a real shame to not repeat that, because I think you just get a few really nice clips which just get chucked around YouTube, and maybe a few new people see it and think, hey, I don't need $650 in my pocket. And then they go and spend it. But to me, like, the whole point about CitCon is we do a little bit of a look back in the past, and then let's look to the future. So to have effectively, maybe a bit rude, but I think effectively just a sales pitch thrown at you instead. It might as well have been a sponsored segment instead of a panel about what's interesting, what's new, what's all this. So, last year was a lot of very big ideas, and I certainly wasn't expecting that. But you could have thrown us a bone and at least shown us the Perseus to some vague degree, because it's going to come out in a month, and it's all been leaked anyway if you look hard enough. So show us something would be my only feedback.
That would have been just doing a pre walkthrough of, and I just wonder if it was time. Wonder if it was just time constraints. They didn't have as much time to do this show, and I thought the segment on the guns was actually better than the segment on the ships. I was like, Space AK, I'm here for this. And,
I want to be in the meeting where someone said, let's make it fire a bullet, and then a laser beam, and then a bullet. And then I was like, yeah, that's great.
So this is Marmite, but I love that. I'm like,
it's awesome.
So cool. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the LMG as well. Like, those guns are on point. I'm even a fan of the tube.
I love the tube, but they fire a tube. However, being in a room of a few people who have served in different armies over the years, being told by a weapons designer, "Oh, we can't put a sight on it because you'd have to be aiming directly down the barrel," got a lot of anger. So I think that was like, how could we possibly put a sight on this weapon? It would be impossible. It's like, oh god, just listening to the comments after that was very interesting in itself. But to go quickly back to your point on it, if they felt like they didn't have a lot of time. I know at one point Jared mentioned, oh, we recorded some of this 2 weeks ago, some of the interviews 2 weeks ago, and it definitely gave off that feeling of, let's not put too much work into this, but let's deliver something. Maybe the script was done ages ago, but it was more of a last minute thing. And given, hopefully, there may be a Squadron soon, fine by me. I thought, yeah.
No, I mean, very much it was. I would say it was like hit and miss overall. Like, to just summarize the whole thing. Like, I and have sort of come away from it and realized there was more there than maybe there felt like in that moment while we were watching it. It's just like, it was quite densely packed. However, like, the one thing which sort of did stick in my mind more recently when I was thinking about it yesterday was like Combat Con, because there didn't really, with the exception of a little bit of crafting, in which you can craft FPS gear.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, we can even make the crafting section about combat. It was pretty much just like, and I think that was, it. Sometimes there's a thing with companies, right? When like I look at companies for a living. Sometimes you like get a little bit worried when they have such a good year, because that next year they're gonna be like, our profits went up like 2%. Mostly because they went up so much last year, and like there was a little bit of that with this one. Like, last year's CitCon to me was like so good.
Yeah.
It had like all that extra info dump around crafting, base building, star bases, had all the like, I mean, it's easy to forget, but like last year is the point that like, Rich Tyler stood up on the stage and was just like, we have, to a degree, got control of our scope creep and actually know what 1.0 looks like. Here is our map, here's all this stuff around guilds, and it was simultaneously like really interesting, sounded like a really good game, but also wasn't so far removed from reality that you didn't think they could do it.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of like last year's CitCon was so good that this one was kind of destined to not be as good.
Yeah, it was
can't
never
do
going
all
to live
that
up to
again,
it.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And it almost felt like, the little talk about 1.0, even it's like a little, it's still coming, don't worry about that. And I do agree. There was no way you were going to beat 2 days of content in 2 hours.
Yeah.
We watched more Squadron 42 last year than we actually had of talking this year. So it was never going to happen. But so why don't we actually look at something we did hear a little bit about, as you spoke about earlier, is the crafting machines.
Hmm.
And I think they seem to be nailing the first implementation of here's a box, put boxes into it, get something out of it. Super simple. Don't overwork it. Just despawn something, spawn something else, call it a day.
Yeah, yeah. Really, really happy to have seen that, and
Yeah,
it was like exactly what I was hoping for, in terms of, because it lets them, and it's cool because it's like in PU. The one thing which I did think they might do was like an experimental branch build to let people
mm,
get onto this. But actually, I think it's so much better that they're just planning to do this in PU, because it's not just about like the physical working of the crafting machines. Like, you have to make sure those work at a really small scale before you bother building anything bigger, because you need stuff go in, stuff go out, right? But it also opens up, we got to go get blueprints. So now you've
yeah,
got like a new mission reward. Now you've got a new thing you can go and buy or find or upgrade. Um, and so it's like, adding whole new things in terms of loot and mission rewards, which make the game feel more meaningful. Because it feels more meaningful to go and find like a super rare assault rifle blueprint than it does to
yeah,
get
definitely.
100,000 AUEC. So there's all that sort of ecosystem around it that they can also use to make more engaging content, which to me is really good. And also I love that those crafting machines, like I personally am very much planning to just buy a C2 specifically to just fill with crafting machines and keep in my hangar.
Yeah,
It's like have my crafting ship. So yeah, the fact that they can be moved around is really cool.
yeah, definitely. And there's something else that came up in this. Oh, okay. Actually, this is I'll let you do the announcement of the amazing one you predicted, and it came true. But this was a great step to encouraging or enabling people to live on a ship fully. You can bedlog on it, you can live there. If you need something, you can craft it. If you have to write blueprints, if there's a group of you, you can just stay on the ship. So a great example is an Idris. If you put a crafting machine on Idris and you're able to, print guns, print ammo, nutrients. I guess you could just sit in a med bed, but that's kind of cheesing it.
But you can
Uh,
print med gel, hopefully. Hopefully they'll
see,
make med gel recipes, because med gel is expensive,
oh yeah,
particularly
oh
when
yeah.
you get mass respawns during like orc v orc fights, right?
The budget for Medgel is looking large so far, it's fair to say. But as I'm hyping up to something I'm very proud of your prediction here, lad. Was there anything else to do with Beatrice that maybe predicted in a very great manner?
Did I predict? I've done the thing where you said I'll let you, and I'm like, cannot for the life of me. Oh wait, no, I've got it. I've got it.
Come on.
I've got it. The ability to repair, refuel, and rearm
There we go.
on a carrier. Thank God. Thank God. Yes. That is so good. Like, and I love as well how it, because I don't think it was even in our sitcom predictions episode.
No, episode 10.
It was in the last episode that we did.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that what we asked for was exactly what was delivered. And then I put the episode up after sitcon, so it just looked like we hadn't
But we
we hadn't crystal balled it.
We do mention the date that
We did.
episode was
We
recorded,
specified
so
before. Yeah, yeah.
I guess
But
we
yeah,
could have just lied about that as well.
but yeah,
Yeah.
because that was like, I'm really glad that they're not aiming for something, you know, crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that
Yeah.
they're just like, in these hangars, your ship will just do the thing it does at a pad.
Yeah.
Although
Simple as that.
we do know how reliable pads are, right?
So that's how I think they'll start trying to lock down the Idris, because the Idris technically only has 3 pads inside it, and I think they very much will at least attempt to say if there's anything more than 1 ship on the pad, it won't work. So if you had
Yeah,
like
yeah,
40 Furies in there, you couldn't try to resupply all of them at the same time,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I think would be an okay method of mending it, because
I think it'll be a bit more like, these are the exact spots you need to be on, right?
yeah,
Which then
yeah,
means that you want to keep your hangar like clear so that you can actually cleanly like fly people in and out. And
yeah,
I'm hoping as well, because they mentioned that there'll be more information on how it works, but I've sort of like looking at the cargo room and things of the Idris. It looks like it would quite easily fit some sort of like you need something that you can basically deposit like supplies into an internal
yeah.
hopper. Because that'll be cool. Like, having to actually stock the Idris up. Because I love those things where like the actual I want the utilization of it to be quite simple, but the prep to be rewarded.
Yeah, there needs to be a game loop there. This is how we turn the solo Idris from being a problem into forcing you to bring multiple people if you want the ship to actually function as a carrier. So
Yeah,
obviously, once we get engineering, there's a way to take the railgun partially off the pilot. And as we've seen in the recent patches, they're actually starting to lock down the moving of those railguns. So that's quite interesting to see. But this is a great opportunity to actually make the just really, really fun for people who love logistics and just want to run around as a deckhand on there.
yeah,
My big request and big hope is they don't put any type of hopper downstairs in the hangar along the sides where there are technically cargo beds. And I
no,
think that could be the most logical place to put them. But yeah, it's just going to start restricting space on there so
yeah,
much.
yeah. I think the cargo room itself,
Okay.
because it has it has plenty of space,
Yeah.
and you've then got the elevators to bring the stuff up. Because you also they mentioned it, and I really hope that it's something they clarified their exact plans on with the Perseus, because the Perseus is meant to have those ballistic weapons, right? Those
And interchangeable
ballistics
ammo. Yeah.
with they mentioned interchangeable ammo. I'm not holding my breath on that one.
I'm not.
Um, but the thing which I was slightly hoping to see some news on there was like reloading.
Yeah.
Because I love seeing like the Idris when it kicks off with ballistics, but those ballistics run out of ammo pretty quick. So
Yeah.
having some sort of way to like refill, and I would imagine it would be the same system, you know, that you use to also deposit, supplies for resupplying your fighters as they're coming in and out. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that. Although I am looking forward to how you logistically fit like size 9 torpedoes or resupplying eclipses in.
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna. I mean, that's just. So I in one of the clips in the CitCon stream, there was crates being moved around called like ammunition supplies,
Well, yeah, so
and I
ship ammunition.
that was it. Yeah.
Like so that actually features in cargo hauling missions already.
Okay,
So
interesting.
so like yeah, you get like ship ammunition as one of the things you can pick up for, because they've added a bunch of commodities that don't appear anywhere else to obviously disadvantage anyone looking to steal them. So
Who would possibly do that?
although,
Especially when.
when they introduce like ship ammunition, I know a place that we can get a lot of it for no
Yeah,
money.
there's a
So
whole sea moving very slowly somewhere here.
I can afford to take a very minor hit to my like cargo hauling reputation. So
Yeah, yeah, and that would be a. I think to me that was a very, as we've already said, a very exciting change, because that really does open up the multiplayer in these ships and gives you a reason to not just bring 10 solo Idrises to events. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there on that one. That's really good. Um, Something I'm not sure how far we're getting on, or at least would have liked to see more. And it's something I mentioned in the predictions, because we're still talking about our predictions, as you know, saying right on topic. Engineering.
Hmm.
Not seen a lot, not heard a lot in engineering in a while now. And I believe they mentioned we'll hear something in the next couple of months, but I'm not optimistic unless they've really gone back to the drawing board and changed a lot.
Yeah,
You know.
I just wonder if it's like there's not too much to add on engineering in terms
Mhm.
of they just didn't have that much to say about it. Because I think probably it's been in for like reiteration, and it will be open to some tests. Because it's probably one of those things which I think maybe they've learned their lessons a bit from the flight model. Like that it would be better to be slower, to develop these things, to do more testing, to do
Yeah.
more focus groups. They've also got that thing, haven't they, where they've announced like specific focus groups for testing,
Yes, they have. Yeah.
which come with like very strict NDAs and stuff. So it does beg the question as well with those: are we even gonna know what is being subjected to those? This is just something I don't know. Somebody could who probably follows these things a lot better, because I know we got told about the flight one, that there is a flight one ongoing. But
Yeah.
like, are we gonna get told? Considering these things are all like subject to NDAs because they don't want leaks, because they want these things to be exciting and new when they come out. Will we even be told if something is subject to a focus group who are currently playing the build, who are currently testing the thing? I don't know. So maybe there is one going on for engineering or planned for engineering
Mm.
in the
It'd be
not too
interesting to
distant
see.
future. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think you could be dead right. If the system hasn't changed and it's simply we have to implement this for every ship, and that means we need to go back and do a lot of reworks, so be it then.
yeah.
Don't really tell us anything. But I'm sure one day we will see engineering, and then we will get to finally form a proper opinion on it. But yeah, people weren't too happy. Some people weren't too happy with our opinion on engineering in the last one.
Oh
But
really? Yeah, yeah. But some
yeah,
people, there will be some people who want like a really, really complex engineering system and find it
yeah,
really rewarding. I gotta say, I've slightly softened my view, only ever so slightly, and it's more in a case of so recently I've been playing quite a bit of Battlefield 6, as I'm sure many people have.
never heard of it.
And actually, being an engineer is my current favorite thing. But
Mm.
mostly that is following a tank around, trying not to get
A little
shot
blowtorch.
with a little blowtorch. So, so you know,
That's such a fun job.
I think the only slight downside to doing it in Star Citizen is there's no like, not going to be any bullets whizzing directly by your head while this
Yeah.
happens, and yeah, you're more likely to be like in a closed off cargo hold without any windows. So,
Are you winning, guys? What's going on out there?
how are we doing? Can't talk right now, loud. Keep blowtorching.
Yeah. Whatever you do not stop. We're really winning.
Do I still get a
Yeah.
medal?
Yeah, it'll be interesting when these sort of things come out to know, do people actually want to do this role? Are you actually are people gonna find joy from that?
Mhm.
But yeah, we really won't know. And there always will be people like that. So it's
Yeah.
another like most developments of Star Citizen, it's always a great advert to consider joining an org or some form of group,
Mhm.
because there's just so much to do. And a lot of the time, the best way to unlock this content is with people. Just more people you can throw at the problems to enjoy it. But
I do
yeah,
wonder as well with engineering whether they've just realised it's a case of show don't tell now.
yeah,
It has gone on for so long and it's not in game that like another 15-minute CitCon segment on engineering is probably going to make more people groan than it makes cheer. Like, you know, great, they are telling us about engineering and how good it's going to be again. What can we expect? Like 10-minute playtests in the
yeah,
next year,
yeah.
and still no implementation. You know, so I think maybe it's just a case of like when it's ready, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, and that's a great way to do it sometimes, instead of the hype and hype and hype, and by the time you get it, so base building to me seems to be a staple of every CitizenCon, and you get to the point where you go, can you just give us something instead of
Yeah,
telling us about it,
yeah,
and just stop teasing it? I mean, yeah, you did right.
yeah.
It's probably the best way to
I
implement
kind of
it.
think I'm actually kind of glad that there wasn't anything particularly base buildy this
Yeah,
year.
I
That
agree.
it was just literally like, we have built these crafting machines. You will have these crafting machines at the start of next year, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
And then I'm kind of like, good. I look forward to that.
yeah. That's it.
Next.
Minimum it appears. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was one area I was very confused by, and it was more of a hype that went into it, and this was like the final segment where we spoke about the 1.0 dream still alive. I thought that was great, and then we had the final teaser of this instant mission. Um, it's kind of weird. I felt like, so for anyone who hasn't seen it and is sort of under a rock about it, it's basically this idea that you're going to sort of go to an instant place. There's a giant station with a capital ship laser, so you can't just solo Idris it, which is, I think, a great solution to a big problem in the game. So hats off, that was really good. And then you send your fighters in, you blow up batteries, take down this laser, and then you trench run it like it's Star Wars, and blow up the coolers in this station, and then fight the Vandal. And not a king ship, but a large Vandal ship.
Yeah. I'm told it's a
What?
mauler. Somebody, this is one of those moments of don't do your homework, just put up a YouTube video and the comments will tell you.
Yeah,
It's
I
called
mean,
the
that's great.
mauler.
The Mauler. Okay, so there's a Mauler in it. Thank you, person. Um, on initial views, to me, that felt very similar to what we have right now in Arena Commander, where you fight waves, and then at the end of it, you fight an Idris, but reskinned to Vandal. And as was already said, there's nothing wrong with fighting Vandal instead of players. It actually NPCs. It just makes it a bit different. What was your what was your initial takeaway as that is the grand finale of like the big reveal, as they were so alluding to, and a continuation of the combat citizen event that we had?
So my key takeaway was that was my favorite bit, and like
Okay.
far and away, in combination with this, because I think it's like, it's weird because they sort of divided the two talking sections up, and I think it would have
Yeah.
made way more sense to talk about instancing and then immediately go into that, because that is like the logical conclusion of instancing, basically. Like the whole chat around instancing, which is, so when I first started playing Star Citizen, I was very much like, everything should be an open world. Everything should
Mhm.
be open all the time, and PvP should be possible all of the time. Because I came instantly off the back of playing Ark and Atlas and other survival MMOs, Last Oasis, in which I was very, very PvP focused. I only discovered the joys of industry gameplay rather than killing, with Star Citizen. So the the feeling I very much had there was like, PvP all the time, because I want there to always be risk. And to me, players are the only thing which can really generate real risk. Because
Yeah.
any form of, like, some people would disagree with me, it's just a point of view. Like, my view is that, like, because you can learn the patterns in AI and NPC, like PvE content, it it can it can only be hard, like truly hard, the first time, or until the first YouTube guide's gone up about it.
Yeah.
Whereas players can always surprise you, and react to you. I've softened on that. I softened gradually over time, and then the moment where I just went, no, this game needs instances, was when we went to do the worm,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we were successful in doing the worm because there are a lot of us, and a lot of the guys are really good at PvP. But like the worm fight itself was actually like quite anticlimactic, because we'd had such a good PvP fight to just get in that it was then a bit like, this is good, but like, after like some really intense like shooty versus other players, not so much.
Yeah.
And it led me to really sort of stop and think, like, there's a whole bunch of people in this game who are just not getting access to the content. Like, they either it's like something like Siege of Orison and you turn up and the mission's already done, or it gets done for you because there's an org there who are organized to hit the objectives. And we cleared Siege of Orison in like, I think our record was something like 14 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Like we
if you know the direction, you have enough people to never stop running.
and
It's suddenly not a quick event.
Yeah, and there's this like I remember some people in the chat basically being like, "Is that it?"
Yeah,
I shot 3
yeah.
people. Like, thanks for the money, I guess. Like,
Mm.
um, so being able, it's dungeons. It's dungeons, and like that's the way, like, the most successful MMO in existence is World of Warcraft, and that's how World of Warcraft does it. Like open world, overworld, instance dungeons. Because dungeons are meant to be like, it's a PvE challenge, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's meant to be scripted so you can have big, cool stuff happen. It's got a certain challenge to it. There are techniques for doing it. From a like raiding guild perspective, there's like the main accolade is like being the first, like world firsts to complete it. Then there's like the challenge of how quickly you can run it, and just having instance dungeons of all types of sizes make sure that everybody can access them. And that's cool because the people who don't play in 1,000-person orgs with dedicated PvP wings deserve access to the Valakar fight too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and it's also a good way to basically be like, well, Siege of Orison is a 10 to 20 person raid.
Yeah.
It's not a 100
Just keep
person
sending
org.
people and
Like,
yeah.
But then it's what left me like very happy with that final thing was I was just like, this is end game PvE content, which the game really needs, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think it's really true. And actually on Siege of Orison especially, that for me, that was 3.17 when Siege of Orison came in first, and to me was one of still the most highly rated patches in my mind of stability and content. And you're dead right. The worst bit about Siege of Orison was turning up late and not knowing someone's already almost all the way through, or going in a group full of people who had speedrunners who didn't need to deal with like, oh, let's have a look around. No. They're here for one job, get to the end, get the loot. So the fact you can now control the experience you're going to have by picking your group and going in together, and you're dead right, have a good hour and a half if you're not speedrunning this thing, worth of just looting, PvE, and a damn good story. Back in like Siege Orison is an incredibly good event, which I can imagine a lot of newer players have never really heard of or never played. I'm sure a lot of veterans will hopefully remember it very highly. I think it's probably still the best event Star Citizen has ever run, in my mind at least. So yeah, I cannot wait to see that coming back in a manner which you can pick your enjoyment from it. You can pick what you want from it, and you can know your group all wants to do the same thing, or at least hope. If not, shoot them in the back, and then they're not a problem anymore. But yeah, you could lock down that place so easily. There was like 1 or 2 elevators. The opening was quite literally just a shooting pit. You could sit on these boxes and just fire down into there. So if you didn't want anyone to have fun, you could make sure no one had fun,
Yeah.
which is pointless. And you're dead right. It's nice being in an org, and I think it's very easy to sit on a high mountain going, oh, why don't you just do this? But
why haven't you
the
got any Valakar fangs?
yeah,
You can buy mine. We got
Are
loads.
you struggling? Yeah, we
Yeah,
just go get more. And if someone else is there, we just push them out, and then it's done.
yeah, yeah.
But you're like, it doesn't take a lot, at least on our end, i.e., not coding it to make it more accessible to more people. So
I think the
yeah,
other really good thing is like it makes things like Siege of Origin, but also all these other things that come in with like potentially Xeno threat, like you know
yeah,
certain other missions. If you stick them into instances, it makes them missions, not events.
yeah,
Like the server doesn't need to be on the Siege of Origin patch to have Siege of Origin. We can go and start it because we want to do it on Thursday night. Like, we've recently in the org started like Friday night raid night. Like having various raids to go and like set off with like different groups of people. Hopefully as well, and this is something like I'm so sad they didn't take a little bit of time to like touch on. Really think they should have with all this stuff. The stuff about like party finders. Like
yeah. That's true.
like
That's
because
really
because
true.
because I just think with like when you show big content like that, it would also have helped to show like, and if you are solo or just playing with your two mates, we have done a bit of work on the thing that's going to let you find like a party that is, because you can see how that stuff would filter in so well. You know,
Yeah,
then you like look down the list and you're this raid party are looking to do Siege of Origin. They're currently at like 6 out of 8, so I'm going to join that and get myself there.
mm.
I just hope that we don't see like the overuse of instances. Because
It
it's like stuff like Hathor is really really good as like a PvP
yeah,
like
yeah,
thing. So making sure that like probably like the highest value, most amazing, most sought after loot is like this is dangerous. You have to
yeah.
go prepared to fight other people for it. Maybe while you're also fighting a PvE boss, and because that challenge shouldn't get taken away.
No, exactly. And there should still be caps on the end game for those who, you know, an org needs content in the same way that a solo person needs content. There's no, you could make Wicklow a lot easier. Exactly as you said, if you made Hathor a uh, instance place, and you know you're going to get your pure Karenite every single time, and you
Yeah,
really have to stop dealing with all these people who turn up and want the Karenite more than you.
yeah,
That's life. That's what makes a game fun. So
yeah. Because Hathor is better than it was designed
yes,
because
miles.
of and like I remember seeing like the devs basically when they were talking about the mission they'd made, they were like talking almost like everybody just gets together and sings Kumbaya, and
Yeah,
like you'll turn up and you'll like just help each other out because like the bad guys are in bad guy uniforms. It's like no, we're gonna kill each other.
yeah, yeah,
like we're
yeah.
100% gonna kill each other because this is generated some of the best content of the last year. Is
Mhm.
like 10 people doing Hathor get attacked. A shout goes out to say, help, we're getting attacked. So then we turn up with more guys, and they turn up with more guys. And then all of a sudden, like, a third group turn up and are like, we want in on this too, just for the killing. Yeah, that's fantastic content. So, like, really hope that they don't push everything down this instancing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is just a really good way to create, like, curated PvE missions that are effectively dungeons in any other MMO. The one thing which made me laugh though, I made a video about how much I loved that segment. Uh, the most like obviously it's gonna create that people with different views. Um,
Yeah.
the people who did not enjoy it, the most angry they seem to be about is the magic shields. They've got really worked up about the magic shields on the anti-cap guns. Like that doesn't make any
Uh,
sense, and I'm just like, it's a fucking game. It's a fucking
yeah,
game. Why is
yeah,
why is there a magic shield? So you cannot do every fucking thing with your Idris.
yeah, yeah.
So that
Sorry.
you know, so
Turns
that
out you
you
can't
so that
pay to
you need
skip
to
content.
use a fighter or like a torpedo bomber so that there is a purpose for those ships. it's
And
just game balancing. It's not.
yeah,
It's you know to design a better cooperative experience
mm,
because otherwise it's like it becomes an MMO where it's like, which is the optimal class? Tank is best. We will all run tank,
yeah.
and
Because there's no
that
reason to ever get an F7 or a
yeah.
fighter if and what I liked as well is I thought it was a bit funny in the video. I don't think it explained it super well. Of like, oh well, you need to take down this cap ship so you can bring your cap ship closer so your fighters can rearm repair. It's like this idea fighters can't fly 10 kilometers away to get out of a gun. Fine, whatever. But it's good as well they attached the opening of the main door as well to
Mhm.
the destroying of the batteries. So in reality, all you're doing is just forcing your small fighters to get close. Bring a couple of ions, you'll still be through in you know a matter of minutes, blowing up some batteries. It won't be that hard, and you'll give the ion another use in the game, which it's
Yeah.
just the best ship in the game. So that's fine. That's fine.
Might want the Inferno. Maybe the Inferno. Ballistic damage is a thing. But
Probably
I'm
better.
like, and it's always going to suffer like the fate of all PvE content. And the fate of all PvE content is like the first time somebody does it, it is like, oh my god, so good, so hard.
Yeah,
And then the 50th time you do it, it's like, how do we do tonight? 8 minutes 30. Excellent.
yeah, yeah.
Do we want to do this again for the loot? No, let's go do Hathor.
No,
Like,
done it now. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So always the risk, and it's the risk of theme park MMOs. You have to keep making more rides,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
So
you do bunks enough time to get the old Hurston armor back in the day, and you never want to go back to one ever again. So that content is just you can put as much work into it as you like. Not going to do it again, mate.
no,
ASD will go the same way. The worm went the same way. Did that for a month. Got the ICTGOs. Moved on with our life.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah, it's what it is, really.
there we go. But no, that was my highlight. Um, and also it's just great having something that looks that cinematic. I went through and was like clipping up all the footage frame by frame, and there is just some great shots. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hats off to the cinematography team. They once again have nailed it. I do still agree. I think the weapon shots were probably the best
Mhm.
in my opinion. At least for lack of aiming down sight at time was just getting mildly frustrating.
Yeah.
But
Always from the hip, mate.
beautiful.
Always from the hip.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
went to the LoudGuns school of FPS.
Well, I mean, so it must have been an accidental slip in the video, but they said the LMG would cause tier 1 injuries on impact. I'm sure they meant tier 3 because
Yeah,
otherwise
so I think they've confused themselves, like
yeah,
they've
yeah.
confused everybody else with
Yeah.
the fact that they decided to put medical round the wrong way
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to every other like description of tier 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no way. So that's basically going, well, I guess you should have bought an Apollo then, buddy, shouldn't you? Because there's only one ship that has a tier 1 bed now.
we need to sell some more Apollos. So
Yeah.
could we make a gun that's just dishing out tier 1 injuries?
Don't put it past them. Don't put it past them.
No.
Oh.
But on that note, we have successfully talked about CitCon for half the length of CitCon. So that's I
Yeah,
think we've pretty much hit every salient point out of it. Was there
I think so.
was there anything which you were just like, I wish they had said more about this?
The one that came to my mind and the one I sort of struggled with the most in the first hour was I wanted to hear a bit more about the content of Nyx. We spoke a lot about we touched on Genesis as a planet building engine. We spoke a lot about Nyx 1, spoke a lot about Levski and the municipal works which should be coming in there, so more instance content. But we said, oh, Nyx 2 is there, but we're not going to focus on that today. It's like, okay, cool, but can we talk a little bit about it? Give us a little bit of flavor, because we have the wiki articles from years ago. We have a little bit from last year's CitizenCon, but I think that would have been a great opportunity for a bit of lore to be said. You don't need to go into it for ages, but give me 5 or 10 more minutes so I can get excited for these places. Give me an idea of what I could expect to see there. Um, that was actually my main takeaway. I mean, the ship stuff I could go on for days about what I think they should have done there, but I don't think it's worth doing until we see what they do at IE, because it could be a big year for IE's videos. We don't know.
So I think as well, like one of the things it does always do is CitCon, when it's over, unleashes like a floodgate that has been in place, because there's almost like an embargo on information pre-CitCon, because they're saving it for CitCon. So after with CitCon out of the way for like, we've now got 9 months basically before they start doing that again, and that's 9 months of like ISCs, SC lives, all that sort of stuff.
Again.
And I would imagine a lot of the SC lives are going to be around like building Nyx content.
We're on the road to Nyx
and that sort of thing. So, we'd be arrived at Nyx.
Yeah,
We've moved on from the road to. It's just like, here's the road. Get yourself in there. Still under construction though, mate.
Yeah. Welcome to the builder's lunch of Nyx. I hope that's how we're all going to open.
One thing. This is my gonna make my. We had our CitCon predictions. Gonna make my wild 2026 prediction to end on, and that's going to be
no squadron.
No squadron. I mean, that's like a 50-50 bet, right?
Yeah. I'd put good odds on that.
Well, they mentioned that Nyx was going to be mining focused, but then proceeded to show, like, I think that was the one. Aside from that, like rock cracker thing, there was no other mention of mining in the entire thing.
Yeah.
One thing which I do think, having crafting, regardless of how basic, and 3 systems in the game allows you to do is a redistribution of raw materials. So, like, what's the reason to go somewhere? Like, we already had that, like, a little bit with Supply or Die, where you had to mine ice, and the only place to mine ice was Pyro. And so, all of a sudden, I think that was the first thing that drove me to mine in Pyro. Because until that point, I'd been like, why would I mine in Pyro?
Why bother? Yeah.
Riskier, no more profit, no point. Have to bring the stuff back to Stanton to sell it. Like, I just stick to my old fields.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if you've got like recipes which are like get this and this and this, and like the high level recipes force you to go and get materials from like the riskiest places, force you to go and get materials from all of the places. That could be a driver in like more of the sandbox industrial crafting sense. That then feeds into, here is your shiny best FPS armor, best FPS weapons. Like, could really sort of drive players to do that. Like, why do I need to come and protect you in Pyro while you sit there in your mole loud? Well, because you want this shiny P4, right? I'm gonna make 2.
No, definitely. I'll have one as well, a nice golden gun. And the future of missions that go over all systems, I think, would be really nice. And the idea that trading missions can become so interesting when you're actually. I cannot wait for a day where there's a proper triangle trading loop that actually makes sense. That doesn't have to be driven by missions. That will be really exciting to see if they can get that down properly.
Absolutely. We did briefly touch on mining in the mole there, though, Ben. We've got to do something. Because thank you to everyone. We have officially hit the 1,000 subscriber mark with this channel.
Yeah.
And that means that MasterBen needs to do his first mining outside of prison.
And it is literally the first time ever. I have never mined outside of. Okay, I mined a bit in Hathor with a laser, but honest to God, I blew up 3 out of the 2 rock. 2 out of the 3 rocks.
You blew them up so hard they blew up twice.
Yeah. So this really will be my first proper time mining, and who better to show me than the myth, the man, the legend himself?
Just imagine if you love it so much you never want to do combat again.
Just disband Legion. Say sorry, guys.
Just be like, sorry, Astro. Over to you, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Best of luck.
Ben's an industry man now. And on that
only
bombshell,
time will tell.
I heard people can find you elsewhere on the internet though, Ben, and that you might have generated content.
Right, brace yourself. For the first time in 7 months, I put up a video. So yes, what's my handle? MasterBen10 on YouTube. I have a video on there, and I've written half a script for the next one as well. So, do you know what? It will CitCon, get everyone together, has really given me the buzz for this again. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see how I can see how long I can last to this. I'm really going to go for it. I also did a stream on Twitch recently, so I did a bit of painting on there, a bit of Warhammer painting. So twitch.tv/MasterBen10. There is content available. You just have to look really hard and at really specific times.
Excellent. Yeah. Cool. And yeah,
Loud.
You'll find me at LoudGuns on YouTube. So yeah, I actually appreciate seeing you over there as well. And a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed and is watching these videos and supporting us. And please do leave us your comments with your highlights from CitCon. Were your predictions met or were you disappointed? But yeah, time will tell. But I think with all that said, let's wrap this up and Ben can go and watch Traitors. Apparently, it's must viewing.
I have to see what's going on. You know, anything could happen, and anyone who's not in the UK will have no idea about this.
Zero idea of that reference.
Not a clue.
Until they do an American remake,
only all in good time. But no, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who leaves comments, because we do genuinely discuss them, we do read them, and yeah, it's so nice hearing people's opinions. So send more.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Catch you next time.
See you later.